we write equations based on the graph? We need to work with transformations. Okay, transformations work with anything. So what is the first step? I need an easy point that I can compare, that the shifting, and that's my vertex. So I identify the vertex, and for this case is 3, -2. It went to the right 3 and down 2. So what is the second step? I put this in the function. So it went to the right, is minus. I put it with the x. Oops, where did it go? I don't know where it went. There it is. So this horizontal shifting went 3 to the right, I write -3. If it goes to the left, it will be flat. Now, the down, there is no change on the sign. That's my case. It went down 2, so that means -2. So that was step 1. From the vertex, I can know the shifting. Now we are going to step 2. Choose another point on the graph and on the grid. So it means I go to the graph, and I need to have a point on the line on this part of the graph and also on the grid in this corner. So here I have a point. After I have that point, what do? I am going to find my slope. Okay, so that's step 3 for absolute value. So I am going to find the slope for the positive side, where the slope is positive. Remember, it's positive slope goes up from left to right. This is a positive slope. So I am going to work on this side. So I am going to do a right triangle, and I am going to count the boxes. So we count the boxes, and we have 2, 3, 4 horizontal, 4 units horizontal, and up 1, 2, and 3. So what is my slope? Rise over run 3, 4. So now that I have that slope, I really have my A. The number multiplying. This number multiplying is the slope. So what is the slope that we found? The slope was 3/4. So A is 3/4. Now I have my equation. The number that we found, 3/4, shifted right 3 units and down 2. Okay, let's do another example. Now I have an absolute value. Step 1, find the vertex. Okay, here is my vertex. And I need other point, and we are going to work with a positive slope. So I need another point on the grid, so I keep going. It's not on the grid. It's not here. I have a point that is on the grid, and also on that side of the absolute value. I do my right triangle, rise over run. So my slope is 1, 5. That's the A. This is the number multiplying. Now, inside these bars, inside goes the horizontal shifting. So I know that my vertex at the origin, the parent function, was a 0, 0. It went to the left. If it is to the left, it's a positive 1. And it went up 1, 2, 3. Up is positive. So now I have the whole equation. That will be the function f of x is 1/2 absolute value of x plus 1 plus 3. Now, I forgot, is there a reflection? Remember, if the graph reflects over x, it's negative, and this graph is reflecting over x. So this is -1/2 because of the reflection. Okay, now let's go and let's do the next one. Okay, this is you do. You will do that one. I want to show you the one that is for quadratics. It's the same thing, okay? But here, with absolute value, we find the slope that for a line. For quadratics, I just work with the run that is 1 unit. I go to the right or to the left 1 unit. So first I find my vertex. So this means, oops, it went left, left 2, 1 up. So when I put it in the equation, I am going to have y equal a number that we need to find, x, change the sign because you're going to the left, so it's plus 2, and up 1 is outside, and we are using exponent 2. Why exponent 2? Because the parent function is x squared. Okay, how do I find this value, this constant multiplying the stretch or compression factor? I go 1 unit, only 1 unit, and then I go up or down to touch the graph. So I go 1 and 2. So I went up 2. What is the slope? 2 over 1. Now there is no reflection, so it's positive. So what is the equation? 2 that multiply x plus 2 squared plus 1. Let's continue. Okay, this is just what I type the steps. Nice and neat. If you need to stop the video and copy, please do so. And now we go to the next problem. In this problem, I know that it's opening down. My parent function, the vertex is a 0, 0. Right? So I see that there is a reflection. Let's change the color. There is a reflection over x. So this number, the outside number, is going to be negative. But what number? That's what we are going to find out. So we need to go from the vertex, 1 unit to the right or left, but I don't go up because up there is no graph. I go down. 1, 2, 3 units down. Because it's a reflection, this is negative 3. That's the number multiplying. Now, x, and I need the shifting. This went right 3 units and down 2 units. If it goes right, it's negative 3 exponent 2. Why exponent 2? Because the parent function is x squared. So I have y equal negative 3 x minus 3 exponent 2, and it went down 2. That's the function rule. We are going to look how we write the equation for square roots when they give me the graph. So right now, I know this is a square root. Where is my parent function? How does it look? If you remember, the endpoint, because the square root keeps going forever to the right, so we consider the lowest point the endpoint. The parent function goes like this. So I'm going to pay attention to the shifting to the left point. So I see that it went down to 3 units down, and it went 1 right. So let's write it down. So it went right 1, down 3. Let's put those numbers in my parent function. So if there is horizontal, any shift in horizontal goes inside the rule. So we have a square root of x. I am going to have a 1 with that x. And I change the sign. When it's right, it's going to be minus. Down is the number outside, down 3, so that's a negative 3. And let's see if my number multiplying is different than 1. Here there is a number. How do I find that number? So you go from that endpoint, you go right 1 unit. If there is a reflection to the y, we will go left, but right now it's just no reflection. Go 1 unit to the right, then I go 1 and 2 units, 2 over 1. So this number is going to be 2 over 1. 2 is a vertical stretch. So the equation will be y equal to the square root of x minus 1 minus 3. Okay, so now let me erase this and let's see. So you see, these are the steps. Write them down. And you put it in the equation. Okay, now this example. Where is my parent function? The endpoint was at 0, 0. When x is 1, the square root of 1 is 1 and goes this way. So I see that there is a reflection over the y-axis. So the equation, I have the square root of negative x. This is a reflection over y. There is a negative in front of the x. Now, it moved right or left? No, it just moved up. So there is no number with the x. So up 1 plus 1. What is that number multiplying? Okay. Now, from the new graph, the transform graph, from this endpoint, okay, I am going 1 unit to the left, in this case, only 1 unit, and then I go up until I touch it, 1, 2, and 3. So this number that is multiplying is going to be this slope. 3 over 1, just 3. My answer, 3 square root of negative x plus 1. Okay, so let's erase and let's see the nice and neat. So we find the endpoint, identify the translations, and then we are going to see 1 unit to the left or to the right, and then we went left. We go up or down to touch the graph and we count. Right, that's what we just did, 3 units. So that number is my A. That's the stretch factor. So this graph was stretched by a factor of 3. We have one more example. In this case, where is the reflection? This other one? Where is it? Remember the parent function goes this way. So I see that it was shifted. Okay, this endpoint went up 1, 2, 3 up. So up 3, 1, 2, 3, left 3, and then it was reflected. It's a reflection over x. So x is my mirror. So if I reflect the parent function over here, you notice that x is my mirror. So I reflected whatever this was and move it up. Okay, so was up 3, left 3. Let's put it in the equation. So we went, the number multiplying, we didn't find it yet. There is a reflection over x, so the negative will be outside. Okay, the negative will be outside. And I went to the left. That's a plus 3. This is inside the square root. It went up. That's a plus. When it goes up, it went up 3. Now, we need to find this number. There is a negative 8. What is that number? So the end point, I am going 1 unit to the right, and then I go down until I touch the graph. 1, 2. So that number was 2. So what is the equation? Negative 2 a square root of x plus 3 plus 3. I really don't need the parentheses if I already put it inside the square root. This is the answer. Okay, so let's complete the worksheet, and I think you're ready.